Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and let's start off with an apology for how many days I've taken off. I normally don't take like 3 days off from videos. Normally, I put out at least one, or I explain what's going on, I tell you why I'm not doing them. But essentially, aside from life, right, it was Halloween weekend, and the girls had a lot of things to do. I was running around a lot, but on top of that, I was editing this small mini doc about Dr. Richard Bartlett and a drug called budesonide. Now, on this platform, we're not going to be able to show that mini doc. Otherwise, I would probably have premiered it here solo and hyped it up in a separate video. But instead, what we're going to do, we're going to premiere it here on the uncensored side of Mixed Martial Mindset, #1. It's a big thing, right? We're going to do that. And then, on top of that, we're going to post it solo over on Rockfin exclusively for free for everybody to check out. But it's definitely something that we can't do here. We've got a lot of news stories to go over. Obviously, PooGate is shameful in a lot of ways, right? But it is something that I predicted. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll talk about him falling asleep at the G20. Remember, it's not his Build Back Better plan, and this whole agenda has been driven by what? By the UN as an organization. All right, legitimizing world government, being the mouthpieces of a predatory class that is transhumanist in nature and is now oppressing us in many ways towards a UBI automation unination. I've said automation nation, but they really want to globalize everything. They want to medicalize everything. And they also want you to believe you're an ooey gooey human whose carbon footprint is bad, 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 bad. Okay, let me repeat that. It's bad. You shouldn't be doing it. So, with all that being said, we're going to go over everything. Hopefully, I'm going to be joined by Fitch today. He didn't let me know that he was not going to be able to make the program, but we're also going to talk some MMA. Awesome UFC card. It's about time they gave a grade A actual numbered UFC card to us ESPN Plus subscribers, and sure did deliver. There's a huge card next week. We'll probably get into a little bit of that, but what I want to do now is just let everybody know, hey, who knows if we're going to be on YouTube. I still need you to thumbs it up. I still need you to subscribe and share. That's great. But the thing is that this platform won't even allow me to show you a doctor who has been demonized and vilified and lied about, who to me is everything a human being should be. Everything. I know just a little bit about the man's personal life, but the amount of patients he's treating at clinics around Texas and his track record before this, I don't care about his political affiliations, okay? I don't care about his religious beliefs. What I care about is his interactions with other human beings, okay? And they are beyond reproach. I don't know if I'm ever going to make it to the level of Mr. Bartlett. And, this was just a small token of my appreciation for everything he's done, not only for myself personally and other people I personally know, but strangers across the world, really, with the information he's given. So, again, we're going to premiere that. I couldn't do it without you. I'm going to be hitting the road tomorrow to New York. So I'm going to be on the road. I'm still going to be trying to put out videos, but the GoFundMe is a great way to support the broadcast. And again, that building is no joke. Hopefully, I got a text about it today. Hopefully more movement. We'll see. Once we get that, boy, I was talking to Steve from Slow News Day, and he's like, I'm a good carpenter. I know I'm going to have to rip those floors up, but, looking forward to expanding there. Then we have Odyssey here, guys, of course, backing up my YouTube channel, because they've taken my YouTube channel twice for sharing the kind of information that this 10-minute little mini doc that I did, they don't want you to know. And I'm the bad guy for it, right? So Rockfin. I didn't even do a 40K hey follower video over on Rockfin. We did it. We made it. I want to thank Whitney Webb for coming on a few days ago. That's the last broadcast that we did live to talk about the transhumanism agenda. Because, for instance, right now, a lot of people are like, wow, Elon Musk talked about the UN and sex trafficking of children and posted an article where they talked about a 9-year-old being sexually assaulted. And that's a very, very loose term. Let's just say pretty gross what was happening to these kids. But that's a scandal that came out in that article from 2015. We've been covering the Ebola scandal, where we know about girls as young as 13 that just happened from 2018 to 2020, while the UN is directing everything. And if you go against the World Health Organization on this platform, they pull your videos. Those are just facts. So Rockfin, this is where not only we're going to premiere it, right? We're going to premiere it here on the uncensored version, but you're going to be able to see the, I think it's like 10 and a half minutes solo also there. And all my documentaries are free. Shade is featured there, but Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, they're also there, and they're also in the playlist down below in YouTube. So we may be riding this one solo without Fitch. I'm not sure if he had something going, but that's okay because we got so much news to cover. We might as well do it. But I want to give Fitch a plug, man. I know he was in a hot dog costume yesterday. If you caught his live stream, make sure to go subscribe to Fitch both here and over on Rockfin, because he does do some really great things. So let's get into it. Now, accused of falling asleep. This is not accused. Okay, let's just watch it. Here we go. All right.
Disabled and non-disabled all around the world, I call on you to commit to concrete actions to stop the destruction of this magnificent planet. This conference is one of the most important meetings in history. You have the chance to make decisions.
No, not quite out of it yet. No. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. Come on. I need some sleep. It's 10:30 in the morning. I'm the leader of the free world. That's it. There it is. There's the breath. He's out. We're 35 seconds deep. He's got about 20 seconds of he's out. And here, sir. Oh yeah. Hey, sir, you're falling asleep. Yeah. I'm gonna pretend to show you something here. Yeah, you can't fall asleep. Listen, we can't give you any more amphetamines. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to get the mini thins? No. Of course, what I just said there was satire, right? I don't know exactly what was put there. But, again, he runs nothing. And I want to point out that I wasn't joking on the 28th. And by the way, I did a broadcast. You can go watch it with Wristflex, predicting the reason that they were pulling the live feed of the Vatican and the church was because they didn't want him pooping himself on live TV. It's just a fact. And the fact checkers are already saying mostly false and this and that. Hashtag PooGate went wild. That's all I'm going to say. And you could tell that the reason they were pulling him was because if you saw him in that town hall when he was doing that, there was probably, that wasn't the only time. This had been happening through, the week. It didn't seem controllable. And they said, you know what? No live TV cameras. And when they first reported on all this stuff, we talked to him about Satchel Paige. What is happening? Do you think Joe Biden runs anything? Not at all. Nothing. Zip. Zilch. He's there as a mouthpiece for this agenda. And he's an unquestionable god at this point. Now, here it is, right? That's not where you went. Yes, Prince Charles at this conference. This is no surprise to my listeners. We've been covering this, I believe, since before September of last year. Really, at the beginning of COVID, he started talking about a Marshall Plan for COVID, but then he said he wanted to move it into climate change, both, because it's all about the militarization. And this is another problem I have with a lot of people out there that need to have their little come to God moments, okay? Right, left, whatever. There's a power structure that is openly ruled by bloodline. Prince Charles was not born into any kind of specific talent or leadership role or learned a skill or any of that. Zero, zip, zilch, nada, no. Instead, he was part of the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha bloodlines. All right, go all the way back. And in 2021, to have rule by bloodline by, be it the Saudi Arabian royal family or the European royal families, and you can say there's ceremonious titles in the European, you're a fool. You're a fool. They're protected by taxpayers. They are part of a class of people that are not prosecutable. Look what's happening with Prince Andrew right now. Now, they tried to gloss over it in some horrible media interview. Then Gouffre sues him and finally gets her day in court. Remember, he said he didn't remember her. And then she's basically smeared as a sex hussy charlatan. Well, she's a child, mind you, and groomed by Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, who have notorious business, globalist, and intelligence ties that I've covered ad nauseum. So he changed the story. I don't remember to oh no, the mastermind, a child. And that person's never going to jail. Okay? You get it? And Lord Mountbatten, who happened to be Prince Charles here, you know, good old Prince Charles, boy, he's the best, isn't he? He's numero uno. Okay? So Charles here, this guy, his favorite uncle was Lord Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten, who the FBI said had a perversion for young boys. And they knew about it. And he just accelerated on the global scale. Never brought to justice. Jimmy Savile, somebody who was Prince Charles's best buddy. And it's even been written about that he was considered to be one of his son's godparents, the godfather. Okay? Serial pedophile, necrophiliac on top of it. This is the guy that says he wants a Marshall Plan to rule your life through a global credit score. We have had an unaccountable class of people for a very long time, and we also have to come to that moment and be adults. But somehow we have not been able to be adults. Okay? And I don't know why that is, other than, you know, mass mind manipulation. And basically, the people who have now put us into slavery have done so with media manipulation that could have never, ever, ever been dreamed of by the Nazis or otherwise, or any power. All right, the post-World War II propaganda machine, whether it be the Soviets or the United States or even China, China didn't get to where it is now because there wasn't a Rockefeller-funded program, okay, is immense. It's immense now. Those people couldn't even dream of what we're under. It's that Huxleyan style of slavery, okay? And you know who's not a slave? I'll tell you who's not a slave, okay? It's my boy, Ice Cube. He decided that I don't need your money. Oh, hell no. Which is this movie he was going to do with Jack Black. Jack Black, who's taken ducats any which way he can, right? We just covered Jack Black as the Raptor, the Velociraptor, for the United Nations depopulation agenda, right? Now, the United Nations tells you, oh, it's the extinction agenda and we have to stop you humans from being so nasty with your carbon. Those gnarly little fossil fuels. Now, remember, they don't give you a solution on how we're actually going to move into the better energies because they're out there. Don't let anybody fool you. Kurzweil's right when he talks about that. He talks about how we haven't really harnessed the energies, and he also tells you the truth that we've condensed ourselves to 5% of the livable land, and overpopulation is a vast myth. Maybe he's being naive. I don't know. You know, maybe he's just kind of there to drag those transhumanists along to say it's going to be okay. No, I agree. There's not, you know, too many humans on the planet like the lady on the IMF said. We have that clip. We have it. We might play that alongside everything today. I've got 4 other clips queued up, okay, including the doc. But he doesn't need a paycheck. He's independently wealthy. He's not taking the shot. And God bless him for it, man. Thank you. Thank you, Cube. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. By the way, today is the mandate deadline, and basically Bill de Blasio's out there. And when I say that, I'm talking about New York City and all these healthcare workers. He's saying it's misinformation, disinformation, nothing's shutting down. Don't worry, everything's okay. I want to point that out. But I do also want to point when we talk about the beloved WHO, right? And their scandals, that when they're deifying Musk isn't bringing up the recent scandals that were taking place at the same moments that they were running the operation. He's not taking aim at YouTube, is he? Or Google, who are beholden to World Health Organization, right? And I'm not an EU fan at all, but we're actually going to play you a woman in the EU Parliament next. That's the next video we're going to play here, who is standing up and saying, hey, by the way, these people are tyrants, and throughout history, the political elite have been tyrants, and you never, ever, 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 okay, you don't ever give them power. They don't give it back. They're not your benevolent lovers. They've never had that. They've never been that, ever. So that's the next move here, guys. Thumbs the video up. Can we get at least 100 thumbs up here? This is what we can play on YouTube. And again, we're going to be premiering the mini doc, Silver Bullet, on the other side, exclusively on Rockfin. I want to thank everybody who's been a premium subscriber over there. It's only $9.99 a month. And on top of that, you get everybody else's stuff. If you want to pay $99.99 for the year, you get everybody's premium stuff. And look, Max Blumenthal, The Gray Zone, they're waking up. Whitney Webb and Unlimited Hangout, some of the best stuff out there. T-Lav, Last American Vagabond, Ryan Christian, top notch. You get it all. Sharon Funnel, thank you so much for that tip. And then Glenn Combs, it's all about control. You're right. They hate us and want to leave the earth to only those they believe deserve it. Hierarchy enslaving you. Correct. Now, here is a so important clip. And again, thank you so much for those tips over there. We're fully demonetized, of course, on YouTube. Have been for some time. So we're not even going to try over there. All right, here she is. Check it out.
But it is not the goal that renders a system oppressive. It is always the methods by which the goal is pursued. Whenever a government claims to have the people's interest at heart, you need to think again. In the entire history of mankind, there has never been a political elite sincerely concerned about the well-being of regular people.
Correct.
What makes any of us think that it is different now?
It shouldn't.
If the age of enlightenment has brought forth anything, then certainly this. Never take anything any government tells you at face value. Always question everything any government does or does not do. Always look for ulterior motives and always ask, cui bono, who benefits?
She's pretty spot on, eh, folks? Wow, this isn't all over the news. No one's playing this. This isn't going viral for some reason. It's so weird.
Whenever a political elite pushes an agenda this hard and resort to extortion and manipulation to get their way, you can almost always be sure your benefit is definitely not what they had at heart. As far as I'm concerned, I will not be vaccinated with anything that has not been properly vetted and tested and has shown no sound scientific evidence that the benefits outweigh the disease itself and possible long-term side effects, which, to this day, we don't know anything about.
I just want to say this. YouTube, I do not agree with those statements whatsoever. I'm reporting on this. I don't want to be part of any medical misinformation campaign. And, how dare she, as a government official, say that in the EU? And how dare they pull funding because of massive sex abuse of children by the United Nations? How dare they? How dare they? How dare they? I want to make that very, very clear.
I will not be reduced to a mere guinea pig by getting vaccinated with an experimental drug.
Listen, I think this thing is the best thing since breakfast. And you know what? I'd be happy not just to be the guinea pig. I wouldn't mind going full hog and being on a pig farm, right? Whatever you think I gotta be. Susan, what you got there, boopa papa? I love you. I think censorship is great. Thank you.
And I will most assuredly not get vaccinated because my government tells me to and promises in return I will be granted freedom. Let's be clear about one thing. No one grants me freedom.
Whoa!
For I am a free person. So I dare the European Commission and the German government. Throw me in jail, lock me up and throw away the key for all I care. But you will never be able to coerce me into being vaccinated if I, the free citizen that I am, choose not to be vaccinated.
Well then, how about that? A free human being speaking at the EU. That's weird and wild stuff, huh? That is weird and wild stuff. I can't, listen, that's some dangerous speech. That's dangerous. You don't want to bend the knee to the government? Whoa! Whoa! I mean, John F. Kennedy has something to say. I'm sorry, not John F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has something to say. And do we dare play that here? We've been going for 23 minutes. I'm just going to quickly go over the UFC card quick. In light of, it doesn't look like Fitch is coming. I just want to say congrats to Glover Shera. Makhachev, Chimaev, you're looking great. Thank you for a banger of a card. And I'm a fan. And that's what this is. This mixed martial mindset, right? Usually we take it a little more light here, where obviously we got jokes today. But again, I couldn't do it without you guys. So I think that we can get away with the Robert Kennedy stuff. I think we can do it because it's Robert Kennedy Jr. He's kind of an authoritative source. And I don't think that he goes over any of the science. So this is just, Robert F. Kennedy's opinion. And he's talking about basically talking to his pappy before his pappy and his unkie got shoddy. Okay? Now, it might have been after his unkie got shoddy. But, again, because of COVID-19 84, we can't get those documents that we're still not going to get until December of 2022. It's weird, right? So let's play Robert Kennedy. Here we go.
My father told me when I was a child, people in authority lie. And we all, if we are going to continue to live in a democracy, we need to understand that people in authority lie. People in authority will abuse every power that we relinquish to them. And right now, we are giving them the power to micromanage every bit of our lives 24 hours a day. They're going to know where we are. They're going to know the money that we spend. They're going to have access to our children. They're going to have the right to compel unwanted medical interventions on us. The Nazis did that in the camps in World War II. They tested vaccines on gypsies and Jews. And the world was so horrified after the war, we signed the Nuremberg Charter. And we all pledged when we do that, we would never again impose unwanted medical interventions on human beings without informed consent. And yet in 2 years, all of that conviction has suddenly disappeared. And people are walking around in masks where the science has not been explained to them. They are doing what they're told. They are these government agencies are orchestrating obedience. It is not democratic. It's not the product of democracy. It's the product of a pharmaceutical-driven biosecurity agenda that will enslave the entire human race and plunge us into a dystopian nightmare where the apocalyptical forces of ignorance and greed will be running our lives and ruining our children and destroying all the dreams and dignity that we hope to give to our children.
Pretty spot on, huh? Pretty spot on, huh? I got a little Klausy for you before we go, okay? Because, again, Klaus Schwab, not elected to anything, a mouthpiece for not only the World Economic Forum in Davos, right, and this predatory class, but a mouthpiece for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, transhumanism, and the destruction of our very species. The destruction of our very species. He's getting it right. Okay, so we're going to play the Klausy Klaus, and then if you want to watch the premiere, okay, the premiere, it's going to have my little tags on it because I'm going to play it within the box, of Silver Bullet, A Fight for Truth, story about Richard Bartlett, and what he calls a silver bullet. Then you're going to have to go over to Rockfin and watch it there. But please at least make that free account and follow me there. And if you want to support stuff like this, hopefully you really like this little mini doc we're putting out. Okay? Again, it's like 10 and a half minutes long. I basically got one of his patients, the cell phone videos of him inside the hospital and then after the fact. And I thought to myself, there's got to be a little bit more meat on this bone. People have to understand this story. I actually had Richard Bartlett on the program all the way back in July of 2020. I didn't even include that in this because, this is far from about me. In fact, you're not going to see my name anywhere on this thing because it's not about me. It's about humanity, and it's about guys like Klaus Schwab saying things like this when he is an absolute enemy of humanity. And anybody paying attention needs to realize this. It's right in front of our faces. And when he says something like this, he means it.
I think one lesson which we take out of this crisis is the notion of mutual interdependence. Because even as individuals, we had to take care not to infect someone else and not to be infected. And it's the same we have to apply now on a global level.
See, what he's telling is you're guilty until proven innocent just by being a human being. And now we're going to take this global with it. That's all this is. All right? And now he tells you that again, you're just taking every shot the World Health Organization and, the global predatory class tell you you're taking.
As long as not everybody is vaccinated, nobody will be safe.
No, that's not how it really works. Nobody is safe at all if they give in to this tyranny. That's the actual truth of this whole thing. And what you're seeing behind me, I'm surprised because it's not queuing up. But that's the documentary, okay? We may just take it down for a second because it doesn't look like it wants to load. No, we got it. I think it's going to be ready to load when I hit play. Here's the deal. We can't play it on YouTube. So without further ado, we're going to leave YouTube. And if you want to make the Rockfin account, it's rokfin.com/Jason Burmis. I do want to say thank you to Ronnie Snelfman. Sad that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has his sickness. He has so much gold to talk about. Me, as a person already balls deep, don't mind, but I think the sheep mind. He's talking about the speech impediment. Well, you know what? I get that, but listen, I think he's powerful no matter what. We need more people like him and more people in that position. So YouTube, we'll see you on the other side for Silver Bullet, okay? That's about to premiere right now.